that have transpired today. The first waves, triggered by a massive 8.8 earthquake off Russia's coast, have reached the shores of the US states Hawaii and California. This is what we know so far about this. This initially, as we've said, it hit eastern Russia, about 78 miles away from the Petropavlovsk-Kamchatka region. The tremor had a depth of around 18 kilometers, according to the US Geological Survey, and it's one of the strongest earthquakes ever on record. There are no reports of any injuries or fatalities, but photos from towns and areas around the far eastern coast of Russia show buildings destroyed, ports submerged, and people being evacuated by officials. Waves generated by the tsunami have started to hit American shores as well, along Hawaii's coasts and along the west coast beach of California. Hawaiian officials have now said that they have downgraded the tsunami alerts to an advisory level, down from a high alert level, and told residents that they can indeed return home with caution. Western US states have also triggered alarm bells as well. We're now joined by Dr. Sanjay Kumar. He's a journalist from the Korea Herald, located in Seoul, South Korea. Dr. Kumar, thank you very much for joining us. This earthquake has been unprecedented today. Obviously, we've seen certain governments pull their alerts back a bit further, saying, yes, it is a bit safer to come out. But what have you heard about how this tsunami has affected the people and the livelihoods on Korea's coast?
It is better be safe than late. This is the mood here of the people in Korea and Japan. And as you know, this earthquakes, it affects the underground sea level as well. So this has to be seen with a very cautious approach, because we should not forget in 2011, there had been this huge disasters caused by tsunami, and many people lost lives, and it included also the nuclear reactor. So such kind of repetition must not happen, and because of that, Korea is also very closely watching, and Japan remains on high alert. But from the people's perspective, we have to get updates. We have to get the latest news through apps. You know, it is a digital world, so we have to be digitally very connected, and people also have to be very alarmed, because the government only cannot make all the decisions on a very emergency level. So that's why it is better to be safe than late. This is my message.
What's been the feeling throughout the day, Dr. Kumar? There was obviously a cautiousness and many, in many circumstances, worry that there would have been a huge disaster, that waves would be increasing throughout the day. However, we have seen now a decrease in main regions, with significant regions pulling back their warnings. However, what has been the thoughts throughout the day in regards to the fact that this some sort of calamitous event could happen?
It should be seen as a natural disaster, and of course the everyday life here in Korea and even most of the parts of Japan, and even including Russia, if we accept the Far East region, everyday life has not been affected, except in some parts of US too, like as the former and the ex-panelist was referring to. Some places had been affected, but the only good thing here is right now is that not a single person have lost life. So this should not happen. This must not happen. And a cautious approach is needed. If you ask Korean perspective, then historically and geographically, Korea had been fortunate enough not to have a large-scale tsunami. But, this is a natural disaster, so it must not be seen in a relaxed manner. And that is why there is a high alert through updates, through message, emergency alerts, and people have to be very cautious. as well as the authorities. So this is my reiteration again.
Yes, and how would you assess the government's messaging during this time, the time of a possible severe climate event? Has there been clear communication through the Korean government?
Korean government is closely watching the situation, and if there are urgent need for alerts, definitely we are going to receive that. Korean government has been doing it since couple of years, especially from the COVID-19, very frequently, and there were actually concerns also from the civilian groups that why these emergency alerts are frequently being sent to entire population. So that's why unless there is something very serious, I'm sure that the meteorological department is not going to just send the messages unless they get some kind of latest assessment. But if we see the Japan's perspective, then of course Japan has learned a lesson, and they are very detailed. I'm sure that the Japanese friends and the authorities there are going to make these things under control. And if there is a need of cooperation between Japanese and Korean authorities also, I think they are open to that. So collaboration, cooperation, and as well as regular updates through apps and digital transformation is the need right now, and everybody should use it.
Yes, exactly. That follows on from my next question. How can South Korea strengthen its social safety nets to better support communities in future disaster scenarios like this one?
Yes, of course.
Yes, Dr. Kumar, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear. Yeah, definitely I agree with you. This has to be taken very seriously, although right now, these things are very experimental, and you have to get every assessment and updates. Recently, there had been rain disasters because of downpours and all. So Korean authorities are alert on this, and I'm sure they are going to cooperate with the Japan and the other international partners.
Yes, thank you very much, Dr.